Gonna wait like 1 or 2 minutes here, as per usual. Let some people come in, and then we'll get started. Not super thrilled with what I'm seeing, but there might be some opportunities today. What's up, T-Strez? Well, before I get started, guys, are there any tickers you want me to go over? The only ticker that I would mention that I don't typically look at would be TLRY. Not that I really want to trade it today, but we did have earnings this morning. Dropped off. Looks like their EPS was literally zero. They're expected to be at -4 cents, and they came in at zero. So that's, to me, that would be kind of good, but there must have been some other things on the earnings call or whatever that pulled this thing down. So we're down here under right about $2.20 here. So Google, kind of part of one of my trade plans today. So if you look at Google here on the 1 hour, the 4 hour chart, you're going to see a high up here at 158.62. And we are going to disregard that. Why? It was after hours. Must have been like a little news pop, maybe even just, I probably don't know what a FINRA order is, but it was just maybe just like one random share may have gotten filled up here on accident by someone, and then the chart just picked it up. But that's why you typically always want to look on a yearly chart. So for you guys in the day trader corner, I do have this typed out as well. But we have a high here at 155.74. However, we are sitting right at 156.40 right now. So we're going to be up in this area. So we have already broken it, which is kind of unfortunate. So ideally, what I would really look for is something probably along the lines of, like a break and retest down in here, break, retest, and then we go. If I can get that, then I might take the trade. Google's just not really something that I trade that often. So morning, Charlie. Anyone on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch, you guys can also ask questions as well. So, yeah, Google, not an A+ setup for me, just something else breaking all-time highs. However, the market seems to be bouncing a little bit here, but I want this to be clear to everyone. I'll just go on SPY here. We do have CPI tomorrow, right? So do I really want to jump the gun today? Do I really want to try to push it? Or an RB? We're sitting right in the middle of this range here, right in the middle of this big sell-off candle here. And we have a pretty big news factor tomorrow morning, pre-market. So is that going to make the market move pretty crazy today? Probably not. Are we going to get, some really clean moves early on? Maybe. We might get, something in the first 30 minutes, maybe the first hour. However, typically a day before CPI, especially right now, while the market's sitting near all-time highs, probably going to be some flat action. And on the chart, we're sitting in the middle of a range. So I don't want anyone to feel like they need to try to go force a trade today, try to go in heavy, try to make some big bucks. Yesterday, for you guys that were premium, that were live trading with me, we made a couple bucks on Meta, which was pretty good. So I don't know. My advice is don't force it. Let a good trade come to you, then take it. If there's nothing there, then let's just sit back and let the market do whatever it wants. There's no reason to take a stupid loss this morning when you don't need to, because tomorrow with CPI, maybe we're going to be up through all-time highs. Everything's going to be breaking out. We can get some really good trades, or we roll over and we have good trades to the downside as well. So just want to make that clear. Another thing I'm looking at still is going to be Apple here. We did bounce up a little bit pre-market. However, We did break 168 pre-market, or sorry, yeah, 168. Made it low here, 167.80. I'm still going to be looking for this 168 level. What's up, Porter? So actually, we got a kind of a nice 5-minute candle here. So, I mean, if the market does get weak, like I've said before in the last couple of days, we're seeing gap ups pre-market get sold off. We're seeing gap downs get bought up after the market opens, right? So we are up about 0.5% here on NQ. If we end up selling off, Apple is going to be a really nice trade that I like to the downside. However, like I said, CPI tomorrow. So do I expect a really big, clean move? Probably not. But if the trade sets up, I'm going to take it. I don't want to miss it. It just, to me, it leads to a higher chance that maybe this doesn't break as clean as we want and we get a real big move like I've been waiting on. Because to me, this is an A+ setup that I'm just waiting for a really nice sell-off day in the market, and we could see a $3, $4, $5 move on Apple. And that's the day that I want to be involved. All right. I want to see a red candle like this happen here. I don't want to be involved in any sort of like little small candles, inside bar candles, because there's just not much movement there to take advantage of. And you can get chopped up pretty easily. Let's see what else. Tesla bounced up a little bit. Not really interested right here. If this comes back to 185, I'll look at it, or at 160, I'll look at it. Meta, we traded this yesterday, and then we pulled back like crazy. We are up a little bit pre-market from where we closed, but we still got about $8 away from 530 and then this high here. So I got an alert set. Let that do its thing, whatever. I think PayPal is another one. PayPal, don't trade this very often, but you guys look here. We did finally break this pretty big downtrend back here. And, I'm not terribly mad at this like 68 level and then look for a move to 70. We're sitting around 66.60. So I got an alert here. If we get back above 67, I'll start looking at it and maybe look to play the 68 break. That's really not something that I think we're going to see today, but just want to put it on y'all's radar. That's pretty much it. So I think Apple's probably the close. Oh, wait, Microsoft. Sorry. Microsoft, last upside setup I see. We're about $4-ish away from here. Very doable. But like I said, we're seeing gap up, sell off, and gap downs get bought up. So it's just going to be kind of a market call. We got to see which way the market goes. If we got some strength, going to be looking at Microsoft, possibly Google as well. If we see some weakness, I'm going to be all over Apple. So do we have any tickers, any questions? So I got about 1 minute and 45 seconds here till the open. So for Microsoft, going to be looking at the 430 calls most likely. I think the 435s are going to be just fine as well. Then for Apple, probably going to be looking at the 167.50s just because I feel like the 165 puts are going to be too cheap. But that's all I got right now, guys. Keep an eye out. If I'm, I got to watch a bunch of things at once. So if you see Microsoft start ripping and I'm not talking about it, just throw it in the chat. That'll help me a lot. Apple is the closest. So I'm going to get the 167.50s loaded up here just in case. And then I'll also look at the 165s to see what they're priced at this morning. If they're not too cheap, I'll probably look at those because they have the most open interest, but I don't really want to trade a contract that's $50, $30, something like that. So it is Tuesday, so they're not going to be too cheap, but I'd rather trade the 167.50s because then we can get in the money pretty quickly here. So also keep in mind 167.80 is going to be the pre-market low here on Apple. So any questions, any tickers? We got 28 seconds. I don't want to see this go right off the open here, but Apple is typically one of the stocks that will do that. Market, green to red candle here off the open. Starting to see some weakness here. Yeah, so definitely going to be trading the 167.50s, guys. The 165 puts are $40. Don't know exactly where I want to be getting in on Apple. Going to be more of a momentum play. After hours candle on Meta yesterday. Yeah, I see that kind of a crazy wick there. Those happen sometimes, but I would typically just disregard those. No reason to jump the gun here, guys. Today could easily be a choppy day. AMD getting killed. Google, yeah, Google new high. Instantly pulled back. Let's just ideally we can kind of wait here for about 5-ish minutes, 5-10 minutes, let the market chill out, and then we can look for a clean trade. There's just on a day before CPI, trying to trade something on the first minute or two just doesn't make sense. I'd rather miss the trade and be safe than try to force it and lose money on the second minute of market open here. Google got bought up pretty nicely. NVDA selling off. Microsoft sold off. Meta's trying to push on its own here. Volume just really died out quick on Apple. Look at this, guys. I want to see the first 5 minutes be pretty strong volume-wise. Obviously, the first candle of the day is going to have a lot. Had about a mil. In volume, the second candle of the day only had 100,000. So that's a 10% of the first candle, right? So got to go for high day here. Google just made a new high. Not a bad trade there. Just really just not the best setup in the world. If that first candle was red, probably would have liked it. But no reason to switch that quickly for me. We'll see what happens here. If this shows some strength, we can maybe get a bullish pattern here that we could take advantage of. Great. I don't really see the market continuing higher. I feel like you're going to see a lot of fake outs today. So if you made some money on Google, get out of there. Seen a lot of things kind of move opposite directions here. We got NVIDIA selling off. Tesla fell, then bounced back up. We got Microsoft selling off. Meta pushing. Apple kind of sitting flat here. Amazon kind of selling off. Google's still pushing here. Slowly but surely. Google's a slow name. Big red candle here on NQ. NVIDIA just got destroyed. Wow, guys, look at NVIDIA. I don't know what's been going on with this name. Google's still holding up near highs. This is pretty crazy, though. No, not really interested in AMD until we get down closer to 165. Just to me, there's nothing here. There's a little uptrend that you could look at. But do I really want to be trading a little bear flag here? As we have CPI tomorrow. Not really. Yeah, AMD's right there, that uptrend. So be careful. NVIDIA is getting absolutely murdered here. Maybe there's something for us. Not really. We're coming right into this demand zone here. Apple really not doing much here. Microsoft, Meta pulled back. Apple trying to push for highs. So I'm noticing Google now showing a lot more strength than everything else. I'm gonna look at see what these contracts look like. Apple's probably done. I can just tell. LMT, yeah, I can look at Lockheed real quick. I'm not like thrilled with Google, so um, Lockheed seems to be pretty strong. Lockheed's a name when I'm going to be looking at it more when there's turmoil going on elsewhere. Obviously, there's been some things going on overseas the last like month or two. That's kind of why you're seeing this rip. But I mean, is it A plus to me? I don't know. I mean, there might be a trade up here around like 455, looking for a move into 460. So definitely could be a trade here, Frosty. Just today, I don't think so. Just because we're sitting right in the middle of this little range here. But that's just my personal trading style. NVIDIA is still selling off here. Wow. I mean, just getting smashed. Swung Airbnb overnight. What's that been up to? Nice. Summertime's coming around. So, a lot of vacationing that could be happening. You don't have earnings until May 7th, but the next earnings, whenever that is, I bet they haven't even scheduled that yet. That's going to be one I want to look at simply because of all the traveling and the Airbnb use over the summer. So whenever they report probably Q2, Q3, Apple new highs, that's done for. Google just made new highs. It's not the easiest trade. Not the easiest trade there, guys. Pretty choppy, pretty slow, small new high there. Not really something that is easy to take advantage of. So I'm not mad at missing that, but if anyone caught that, good job. So this is actually pretty interesting here. Apple looks like one of the stronger names as well with Google, but Apple and Google did just have some news together, some good news. Look at Apple just squeezing here. So that's done. I don't know when I'm going to get this downside trade, but yeah, pretty nice breakout for Google here. But like I said earlier, Google's a kind of a slower mover. You're not going to get these crazy, off open rips that I like to trade. It's more of something that you need to switch to a 2 or 5 minute chart. Maybe look to try to buy a dip into support, give you some risk to reward, give you some room to kind of let the stock work for you. Bitcoin still sitting above 70. SPY 521 call. Random guy. I just think that we're in the middle of just sideways price action right now on SPY. So I'm not super thrilled. I mean, maybe on like a smaller time frame here, you kind of have like a little downtrend that we just broke. So maybe, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. I mean, I wouldn't be looking if I had to trade SPY right now. Definitely wouldn't be to the downside. So maybe 521 is doable. But again, I really think that we're going to see some choppy, slow price action today, just because we have CPI in the morning. And then we have PPI Thursday morning. So, I could definitely be wrong, but statistically, things are usually pretty slow the day before CPI. Apple is still running here, so that's gone. Anyone on YouTube or Twitter, you can ask questions as well. Apple coming in for 170. I really don't want to see that go much further. That downside trade looks really, really good. We just haven't gotten it yet. It's just a patience game. Microsoft 427, so that's starting to get up there. Market's going for all-time, or not all-time high, but going for high of the day. Google's still really choppy. Microsoft might start moving here. 428 doesn't look terrible, but then we're going to be hitting a supply zone here, 428 to about 430, 431. So I'd rather wait for this to get up in here, continue that strength, and then we could get in, even though you might be able to catch a small scalp at 428. Just let this do its thing, guys. The last thing you want to do is force something and lose money that you don't need to lose today. I'd rather miss a trade that I'm not really planning on, and it just kind of blows by me, than try to chase it and lose. And I say it all the time. I want to get on here and take a trade with y'all every day and be exciting and make a lot of money, but that's just not realistic to do every single day. There's going to be days where you don't take a trade. In the beginning, of course, I never wanted to do that, and I would probably force a trade every single day if there wasn't a perfect setup. But that's where your equity curve is not going to be moving upward the way that you want it to, I can promise you. NVIDIA, a little relief bound, starting to roll back over here as the market is at high of day. So chip stocks hurting. Meta trying to go for highs. Just be patient here. Any questions, any tickers, guys? Amazon come back in for lows. Apple just kind of sitting right under 170 still. Tesla went from low to high a day in about 3 minutes. Chop, chop, chop. Anyone have predictions on CPI tomorrow? I have a feeling it might come in hot, meaning just higher than expected. Gas prices have been going back up again. If you guys look at like XOP, XOM, so XOP is basically the SPY of gas. You've been seeing that just absolutely climb here the last month and a half. XLE, so energy, same thing. ExxonMobil, same thing. CVX, same thing. So we've seen gas companies and gas prices go up. That would make CPI go up a little bit as well. Geo, you think market rips tomorrow? Okay. We will see. Sometimes bad news is good news right now in this market. So if it's not as bad as people expect, market goes up. It's just how things are right now. It's weird. Let's see what Microsoft wants to do. Apple's starting to roll over here. ES is rolling over to low a day here, which is interesting. And NQ is actually up near highs. Gio, why do you think market rips tomorrow? Amazon's starting to roll over here. It ripped the last time on news. Well, I mean, yeah, you could say that, but you know, you never really know. So I wouldn't base a trade specifically off of what it did last time because CPI used to absolutely rip the market down. Um, you know, 3 years ago. Tesla moving. I don't know, guys. Do you guys think that Tesla's kind of reached its base? As much as I would want to be buying in this area, and I've talked about it, I swear, for months, I'm not comfortable trying to buy positions right now on Tesla for a little bit longer term stance, specifically because the market is next to all time highs. And that's not going to last forever. So I don't want to be buying into Tesla, and then the market actually has a significant pullback. Nothing crazy, not like a market crash, but just an actual pullback for the first time in 6 months. Everything falls off. Tesla's not going to be strong enough to do it on its own. Snail cat, that's kind of where I'm leaning, but again, I'm so far away from trying to predict anything. I'm just going to wake up and just see what happens. I'm not going to take any sort of trade. I'm not going to try to predict anything. I just think that market's at all-time highs. I'm still just waiting for a real pullback on some things that we just haven't gotten. Are you already done for the day? No, bro, I'm not done. I haven't taken any sort of trade. But I don't know if you're here for what I have been saying earlier, but CPI is tomorrow, so I'm not expecting anything super easy and clean to trade today. If there's something good, I'll take it. But like I said, statistically, the market is pretty slow and choppy the day before CPI. So just kind of sitting sidelines here, watching everything. It's weird. We had ES selling off. I mean, look, Tesla right here is near high a day. We saw Apple up near high a day. Google's up near high a day. Microsoft was as well. And then look, we're now seeing a full-on sell-off here on ES and NQ. So I don't want to get in front of anything that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Duco, I'm looking for 140, 150 as well. ES getting killed here. So what's something that's weak? NVIDIA's weak. Amazon's weak. I'm sure AMD is still weak. I don't have it up anymore. Wow, look at that. AMD went straight back to highs. So once again, guys, just kind of seeing chop. Down move, up through high day, rolling back over. And these are aggressive. Tesla's still sitting at highs. I don't know. I mean, to me, NVIDIA was very, very weak this morning. Really aggressive sell off there, about what, $10, $15. So let's just see what this does here. I don't really want to trade it. We're coming into a zone down here, this gray area, where there's been a lot of buying pressure. So there's no reason to short into that, but we can at least watch it. Pretty boring so far. SPY went from 520 to 518. Should I enter quick SPY puts now? You kind of want to, I don't know when he bought Geo, but I never want to advocate for you to chase a move. A $2 move on SPY that you're just now trying to get into. I think that's a bit late. I would look for a bounce to get in on, maybe, if you really want to take this trade. But I just, I don't know where Quinch got in. So did he get in around 520? Or where? So now we're seeing some things bounce back up here a little bit. Tesla didn't give up any of that move. Let's see if there's any news on that. Almost 30 minutes in here. Tesla back to ARK's darling. So Kathy Wood's biggest position in her fund is Tesla right now. Morgan Stanley maintains 310 price target. That's a pretty big move. But to me, that makes sense. Google trying to go back for highs here, which is interesting. NQ still at low a day-ish. ES is too. So, wow, this one's pretty strong. A little late now to try to force it, but let's just see what this does. And look how slow this movement was here, then out of nowhere. Let's see how clean this new high trade would be. Because, I mean, for me to take this trade, I'm looking for a break of new high and then probably a break of 158 here on Google. So let's just see what it would even do if we were to take this trade. I'd definitely be in about right now if I were to take it. Again, I'm not taking this trade. There's no reason for me to take it. But let's just see if this would be a red trade or not. So far, probably be red. Market's at lows. This one's at high. If the market does bounce, that's kind of what I'd be waiting to see here. Nice little buy-up candle. Let's see if this makes a new high. New high by 4 cents. 6 cents, 7 cents. Touched 158. Broke it by 1 cent. Instantly rejected here. Look at that. Just disgusting, guys. This is why I'm not taking these trades. There's just no reason to. There's no clean follow through. It's not that good of a setup. Markets at lows, been weak all day. Easy spot to do for shorts to kind of trap guys trying to go long like we would try to do. Look at that. Instant pullback there. Nice little buy-up. So there is still some buying pressure here as NQ and ES are trying to make new lows on the day. So there's definitely strength here still. Trying to go for new high here. Again, I got to close the candle above 158. Yeah, there's 19,000 volume on the 160 calls. It's not that crazy just because they're $1.20, but I mean, there's definitely a lot more volume on the call side than the puts, but it's also been a stock that's been ripping. Meta breaking new lows here. That's done. Glad we caught a piece of it yesterday. Microsoft now sitting flat, middle of a range, chop central. NVDA, chop central. Apple's trying to go back for highs. So weird, guys. Apple's the biggest player in the S&P 500. And the S&P is just sold off really hard and it's down by lows. And now you have Apple trying to make a new high on the day. It's all rigged, Chris. It is all rigged. It's kind of weird. I mean, I get it if it moves differently a little bit, but look, I mean, look at ES here. And then let's look at Apple. That's a pretty different move there. PNW, what's going on with that? Wow. This one is moving. What's going on with the Zuma? Is there some news here? Okay, so this is why Google's moving. We got so PNW, Palo Alto, they just partnered with Google for some AI cybersecurity stuff. So that's why Google's staying strong today. That's why PNW is moving pretty cleanly today. But both of these are in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is getting murked. Nice. Okay. Well, I feel like I'm a little late on the boat here. PNW, but maybe this could be a multi-day mover. I'm not mad at this pullback on the market, especially if Google and PNW can close up near highs today, or at least just kind of close strong. Then we could catch a trade maybe later on this week. It's just, to me, when I look at a chart like this, does this look like a good dip buy spot for a little bit longer term trade, like a swing trade? Yes. Does it look like a good spot for me to day trade this? Not really. Above 290 maybe, but ideally I want this to happen up here. we have this big gap up here that we could trade into, that's when I trade my best, and that's when I win a lot more rather than just trying to buy something kind of off the bottom here that had a little bit of good news and then look for like 1 minute price action. This was pretty decent here. I liked this little setup here. Zuma, it's your fault, man. You should have told me about 10 minutes earlier. So I'll blame that one on you. But no, good eye. I didn't see that news at all. So maybe there could be a multi-day move in this that we can catch. We'll see. But I mean that now explains why Google is doing what it's doing as the market's still selling off. But I'm surprised that that's not actually helping the market at least stay flat. Tesla's still sitting at highs. Let's watch this Apple setup here, guys. Let's see what this one does. Not going to trade it. Just going to watch it here with y'all. Like I said, Apple's something that you can put on the 5-minute chart. Probably going to be better for you to trade it that way. Let's see. I'm going to set an alert here at this new high. I highly recommend that you guys start using alerts. Let's see what happens here. It doesn't look terrible, but I mean, the market's still selling off here. I don't really know why Apple would be moving like this, even though, I mean, it did kind of part with Google recently. So maybe that's a reason. I'm going to put PNW up on the side, though, just so I can make sure I can watch it this week. You guys trade anything today? Anyone make some money, or are we all kind of sitting sidelines here? Tesla's still moving straight up. SoFi, Breckle. Let's see what we got here. SoFi. What's going on with that? Anytime you think about SoFi, you need to be paying attention to the student loan forgiveness. That's what they were a big part of with Biden. Nice. SoFi, pretty solid move here last couple of days. Wow, I didn't know it was this cheap of a stock now. They didn't split it, right? I swear this used to be a lot more expensive. No trading today. Your sideline too. Good. I mean, definitely. I mean, there's obviously going to be an opportunity every day. But, for you guys in that day trader corner, I sent that video the other day. And it said, yeah, you may have missed a move, but you didn't miss a trade. A lot of things have to line up. And, even specifically for multiple people to have missed a trade. Tesla, I mean, this thing is just not freaking stopping now. So we'll see. I just don't see any like amazing news on this right now. Running. Yeah, it's much better to sit sidelines and not lose money for sure. I would take a cash day any day, but I'm not comfortable. Goldman Sachs actually lowers price target to 175. And this is moving. Let's go check out Myrna, though. I mean, I kind of wish I caught a little bit of this on Tesla, but there's no pullback to catch. It's just straight up. Wow. What's going on with Moderna? Why would this be moving? This 115 level doesn't look bad. Right at it. Oh, about Pfizer. What's going on with Pfizer? What could they possibly be doing now? Thanks, Zuma. I like it. Back to break even on PanW. Okay, well, I think that probably has a lot more potential in it now, especially partnering with something like Google. Oh, and you got PanW for the rest of the year, dude. You're gonna be fine. Beautiful trades. I love that. These elite positions are killing it. Yeah, FIs are up 2.5%. Big swing. That's money. What was I gonna look at again? Oh, Myrna. Myrna's up 9.5%. Yeah, I mean this thing just hasn't stopped. So I don't really know what I can do with that. But wow, what a move, man. That's pretty cool. Tesla now back at highs. So weird. I mean, look what the Nasdaq's doing right now. There's just no way I could take any of these trades. This is the market open, sell off, bounce back up, sell off again, and now we're just kind of chopping around lows. Can do a little bear flag here. ES, same thing. If the market was strong, I'd be a lot more inclined to try to take some of these upside trades, but there's just no reason I can break by one of my major rules here and try to go upside as the market is selling off this hard. I mean, look up. So, we see Google running, we see Apple running, and we see PanW running, and we see Tesla running. Those are some big players in the S&P, which is weird that it's down. But then you also have stuff like Meta doing this. You got NVDA doing this. Where's AMD at? AMD's kind of rolled back over. So weird, kind of a wishy-washy day. Amazon's a little bit weak as well. So I don't know, guys. I wish I could have cut a trade so far. I mean, I still got about 20 minutes here, but I don't think I'll be trading anything. There's just Tesla's just not going to stop today, huh? That's okay. I'll trade this up near like 180, 185. That's where it looks better on a bigger time frame for me. Probably more 185. It's the wall at 180. I don't know why we're looking at that. Wall is 17,000. So nothing too big. But yeah, geez, man, Tesla's not stopping. Apple, let's see what it does here at a 170. Have we hit that? No. So let's just see what the wall is at 170. Apple typically has some pretty big walls. And this one's not big. About 60, 70,000, 75,000. So adding to it a little bit here. This could just be some wall practice. Look at volume and see what it does. Boom, we hit the wall. You said, and that was quick, but volume was like down here at like 20,000, just ripped right up, or sorry, 200,000, ripped up to about 600,000 there. Instantly got pulled back. On the 1 minute, you'll see it. Yeah. So that's why I look for walls, right? Lower volume, hit the wall, volume spike. But market's at lows. So the chances of this breaking and continuing on that candle are pretty low. Tesla, another new high. What else you guys seeing? I'm very disappointed with today, but I haven't seen a weird day like this in a long time. Chris, are you still in here? On your IB, you might see a bulletin kind of up by your account number and all that. If you click on that, I just got one. It said, due to technical issues, you may experience issues with logging into your account and market data. In case of login issues, you can log in with the following link, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it's better we be careful right now. So if I get in a trade and then I get like logged out, I'm not gonna be happy. Yeah, everything's good for me now. So just wanted to make sure you saw that. Okay, Tesla. Jeez, man. This is moving. Apple back to 170, trying to make a move there. I don't know. RB, I think there's still going to be a chance, man. I mean, trust me, I don't want it to be doing this right now. Yeah, I mean, a nice $6 move that you may have missed out on today, but um, I just think that again, my thesis on all of this is the market is at all-time highs. So when the day comes, I don't know if it's going to be in a month or 6 months, but I don't think it's going to be any more than a year when we actually can get a pullback off this crazy run that we've gone on for 6 months. Later, Chris. That's when Tesla can come back down. So, I mean, we saw it do this not long ago, maybe a week ago. It climbed back up in here, and then bad news hit, and we were down at 160 within a day or two. So, same thing here, up around these upper like mid 170s, rolls right back over in one day. So, I don't want to say it's done and it's gone forever, but maybe it is. Who knows? Oh, I do need to mention something. 1 second. Actually, I'll do it tonight at my lesson. That's what I'll do. Well, guys, about 45 minutes in, I don't really want to keep everyone for that long. I can promise you that I'm not going to be looking to take a trade right now, probably for the rest of the day. But, that's just, I know plenty of people that won't even get on the market the day before CPI or, the day before Powell or the day of Powell. It's just not going to happen. If you look back at your wins and losses on those specific market events, typically you're going to be losing more than you win trying to trade the day before or the day of big news before it comes out. CPI is a little bit different because it happens pre-market, so you can actually get some moves during the open market. But for Powell, when he talks at like 2 p.m. Eastern, people just won't even show up, and they do that just because they lose much more when they do trade on those days. So I do have a lot to do today, so I may head out here in a few minutes. Yeah, RB, I'm right there with you. Anyone have any last minute questions, any tickers, anything? I do have a free lesson tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Anyone can join YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. I will be on here as well, so you guys can show up again 9 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. And yeah, so pretty casual lesson, Q&A, go over some charts, get prepared for tomorrow. That's really all I got, guys. So I'll wait for about 1 more minute if there's any questions. And if not, then I'll head out. Pretty boring day, unfortunately. It is what it is. I expected it. Later, Zuma. See you tonight. All right. Well, guys, I'm not really seeing anything. So, yeah, these days happen. But if you can train yourself to do this and not be stressed out and not try to go hunt for a trade, I promise you, you're going to do better and better and better. And you're not going to take losses you don't need to take. So with that, I'm going to call it a day, guys, and I will see you tonight. Adios.